And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of the Conscious Roster Report here on LIV Radio, LIV TV, and livinginblack.com. My name is Keto Wado, aka the Conscious Roster. Weekday mornings, you and I get together live. We come at you from 9 a.m. Pacific Time. That's 12 noon Eastern Time, 5 p.m. GMT, and 8 p.m. East Africa Time. We get together with you, and we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives, entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Thursday, the 23rd of October. This corresponds to the year 6266 in the Kemetic calendar. This is 2025 in the Gregorian calendar, from which we have retreated to our Kemetic alignment. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIV Radio, LIV TV, here on livinginblack.com. And here's what we have for today's topic. I hope you do enjoy the show. Today we're talking about, this is our ongoing series on learning to master AI. And our lesson for week 6, today we discover how to leverage Perplexity.ai's spaces to feature to streamline your lead magnet research and boost your personal brand. Today, step by step, learn how to organize your AI chats so there is continuity in your chats effectively, and get our proven custom instruction template that saves hours of research time, and you won't have to go back and look for what you were working on at a time before. This series is intended to keep you competitive in an increasingly AI-dominated economy. So that's what we have for today. I have a short piece of video. It's actually about 8 minutes long. I'm not going to play all 8 minutes of it because I think he does a good job of explaining in the first couple of minutes. But I have been taking this 28-day course, and I'm splitting it up into weeks here on our Thursday program, Learning to Master AI. And I hope you have been following along with us. Let's go into this video. And like I say, I'm only going to play just a few minutes of the video.
Are all those chats you're doing with AI getting disorganized, making it hard to find the research you've already done? Today, we're going to solve the problem using the spaces function with Perplexity.ai. I'm Mark DeGrasse, founder of AI Branding Academy, and if you're like me, you're running multiple chats every single day, but it can be hard to find those chats in the future when you want to reference them and don't want to do all the work you've already done again and again. So this function that we're going to be using today is by Perplexity, and it's called Spaces, and there's actually pretty comparable functions in ChatGPT and Claude and other AI that we'll be using as well, but this is the first example of trying to organize our chats into one place and giving them instructions to make those chats be better every single time that you run them. We're also going to have the ability to add documents and other information into the Spaces function. We're not going to do that today, but just expect that in the future as we get more advanced with all the different functions you're going to use using AI. But the Spaces function is very easy, and if you're doing a lot of research online, it's going to help you out to be able to organize the information and then reference it whenever you're doing similar types of research. So the example that we're going to be using is a lead magnet research for an e-commerce company. And so if that's you, great, but you could use this in any way you want, just like you would use folders or say a file cabinet in order to organize your data into one place. All right. Like always, I'm going to give you a prompt to help you out. This one is more based on you, so it's going to be how you want to use prompts, and you could use the previous videos to help you do that. But there is instructions that you could give to your spaces to make them more effective. And so I made this prompt for you. Basically, use the following template to produce custom instructions for a new Perplexity space. This space will be dedicated to, and then we're going to give it a purpose, and then it's actually going to create this information for you, which is going to help drive the searches you're going to be be doing in the future within the space. Now, if you want to make your first space, it's very easy. All you have to do is log into Perplexity and then go over here on the left-hand bar and you'll see spaces, basically the third icon down. Click on that. And here you can see some of the spaces that we have at the Academy. So next, all you're going to do is create a space by clicking right here. And then you have a title, you have a description, and you have these custom instructions. So in this case, we're going to do lead magnet research for an e-commerce company. All right. The description is this space is used to organize the research for my e-commerce company that sells, we'll say RFP templates, not something fun, but something that, if you sell, you're going to have a lot of B2B business and you might be making lots of lead magnets for different industries. So we're going to say, okay, we'll go ahead and organize different chats that we're going to run for different industries that might need RFP templates. Very simple. And then you have custom instructions right here. And this is where we're going to use our prompt. Now you could actually use this prompt in Perplexity, or you could use it in ChatGPT or Claude or anything else you want. Any chat-based function is going to be able to run this prompt, but we're going to do it in Perplexity just because we're using Perplexity today.
This video was created by AI.
No expensive cameras or complicated software.
With the right tools, you can create any visual you can imagine.
You can build businesses with AI. There's no limit to what you can do.
You can work smarter and faster than ever before.
The problem is, most people are overwhelmed by AI.
They don't know where to start. They don't know what tools.
All right, so we're going to start by simply copying this prompt right here. I'm going to say copy, and I'm going to paste. And then I'm just going to replace this one bracket. So we're going to say dedicated to lead magnet research for selling RFP templates.
Now, at this particular point, I think that the author has already introduced us to spaces. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that screen right now. And you and I are going to explore spaces together. Now, today's lesson is not real complicated. I will put up a link so you can take this entire 28-day course from the website, and I'm trying to remember what the website, the 48-day challenge. This is Perplexity's AI Spaces. And so I'm going to put up the website so you can take the course, because I think the course is really very, very good. And bear with me, I've gotten really confused today on what is happening with my web. It appears to be a very long lag time, and I can't bear with it. But let's just go. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go to Perplexity AI's 28-day challenge. And I'm going to copy here, because I do have all of this separately on my desk, but today was a crazy day. And this is the video. I want to search for the original challenge. And here we go. This is it. This is the 28-day challenge, day 6. So I'm going to go ahead, copy this. I have all of this information set aside for me. And I'm just going to go copy this and let you explore this on your own. Here are some of the ideas that are how to use it. Learn how to streamline your lead magnet research and boost your personal brand. That's what today he incorporates that And the main thing the author of the video is selling is templates. So this shows you how to use Perplexity AI's Spaces Basics. Set up your lead magnet research page, and in my case, I've been not necessarily setting lead magnets, but studying marketing for podcasts and radio station. Construct instruction template walkthrough, real world application example, and pro tips. So the prompt, he talks about use the following template to produce custom instructions for my new Perplexity space. The space will be dedicated to marketing and promotion. And let's just say this. I'm just going to go real world on you and not read what we have today. Spaces, when you go to Perplexity AI, and I'll be honest with you, Perplexity AI has risen to be one of my favorite internet AI searches, and to chat with the computer, because I've been using Copilot by Microsoft, Brave AI, Ecosia AI, DuckDuckGo AI. I've been using Gemini for generating images, and those are the main artificial intelligence engines that I use. That's about 5 or 6 of them. Perplexity AI, I like it because unlike Copilot, Ecosia, DuckDuckGo, Perplexity AI is very current. Used to be, and I think they've changed now with ChatGPT 4, and I think we're up to ChatGPT 5 now. ChatGPT 4, it was months ago. That was the most recent information that they could find. So if someone sent me some information, say on what about the government of Kenya, what about President Ruto, is he in problem, or what about President Samala Sususu, I don't think that's her name right, but President of Sususu Samala Hassan, that's her name, of Tanzania, is she in trouble? Well, I can use Perplexity AI, and it will be very, very current with its research, much superior to Copilot, DuckDuckGo, and even superior to Brave. Now, I do use different ones for different reasons. And most days I will use more than one if I'm researching a subject and I want AI's input to dominate the conversation. Well, I'm going to use more than one, so at least I get the benefit of 2 distinct AIs. So do check out Perplexity AI. Now, when you get to the website, and I think I can get to the website right now. I think I can. Perplexity. Oh, this is the AI Branding Academy we're looking at right now. I'm going to pull up Perplexity.ai in a new tab, and there it is. And I'm going to share this desktop with you right now so you can easily find spaces. And once you find spaces, it's easy to use, no doubt. So I am in Perplexity. I'm going to share my desktop here real quick. Add to the stage. Okay, I'm in Perplexity right now. And you're going to go, you see a bar on the left-hand side, under which you will see a resource that says Spaces. Where are we at? Here we go. So just under here we go. In the first group of tabs there, you'll see on your left, you see one called Spaces. Create a space. First of all, we're going to create a space. We're going to name that space. We're going to name this new space Health Research. Because most days I'm going to be using this just for that. A description of what this space is about for most days. my broadcast is on cutting edge health related information. Okay, so this is going to be up here permanently as a folder or a space. Spaces and folders are really going to be the same thing, are going to be the same, about the same. Now, I can add files, I can add links, I can add instructions. I have not experimented with those yet. But let me just add a file and let me see if it's looking for text files. Yeah. So today, I'm not going to use today. I'm going to go back a little bit. Functional medicine approach to breast cancer. That's not a text file. Let me star.txt, so it only gives me text files. And I'm going to pull up the many problems with Ozempic, and I'm going to open that one up. And let's see if it does open up. Okay, I've added that file. And I'm going to go through. It's going to open the file. And now what's it going to do? I don't need to just look at what I've already done. Okay, I don't know if it's done anything. So I'm going to go back to spaces. Next, I'm going to hit next. That's not it. I'm going to hit next. One of one, it's open. Okay, I'm adding that file. Bear with me. I coulda, woulda, shoulda done this a little bit earlier. I don't need to add another file. So the links in the file, no. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to close the sources out and learn more about that. But here's what I can do. We're talking about, what was the file? It's dealing with ask anything about health research. Give me 10 up-to-date key points to understanding psychological burnout. Okay, let me spell it correctly. Psychological burnout. So that is my instruction. Now, this is going to remain in the space. So when I go back to spaces, I will see that one in there as well. Here are 10 up-to-date points for understanding psychological burnout in 2025. Notice that it gives you the date. This is very current. That's why I like Perplexity's AI, because it is current. Burnout is at record levels globally. Studies in 2025 reported up to 82% of employees describe themselves as burned out or at high risk, marking historical peaks across industries and countries. Now, it's going to give you the reference right there as well. I like that. I'm just going to go through and just give you the highlights. It is recognized as a chronic syndrome. Emotional exhaustion remains the defining symptoms. Point 4, younger generations are experiencing burnout earlier. Number 5, gender differences persist, with women continue to report higher rates of burnout than men. I was going to think just the opposite, 46% versus 37%. Well, and once I think about it, no, I can understand how women would be experiencing more burnout than men, because quite simply, men have a higher tolerance and favor for working. And also, I think that men are better at planning for non-burnout than women would be. But this is just a minor quibble. Basically, burnout is at record levels for women and for men. Point seven, physical and physiological symptoms arising. Number 8, the generation trust gap is widening. Number 9, remote workers face new burnout triggers. People who work at home are facing digital fatigue, social isolation, and blurred work-life boundaries, meaning that remote and hybrid workers have a roughly 20% higher burnout risk than their in-office peers. I didn't know that. Very important point. And point 10, recovery requires organization and personal change. And of course, recovery can, if handled by the orthodox medicine, recovery can be psychotropic drugs, and that is not recovery. That's just suppressing the symptoms of burnout. So together, these findings highlight that burnout in 2025 is not simply an individual failure to cope. It reflects structural, social, and psychological imbalances. Now that I've done this research, and I'm going to download that because I think that is interesting. Okay, it did download. There it is up there. It's in an EXE form. That's not what I'm going to do. And that is, I just copy this, and share it. But here's the thing. With Spaces now, that research is served. So I go back to Spaces, and there is health research. Now, if I want to research something else, I'll create a new space, create a new space. Now I'm still in the health research, and there's my threads. So all of this is permanently saved like a folder. I could create another space. I'm going to create a space, research on Pan-African development. Okay, so description of what this space is about. I'm going to go ahead and type this in, Pan-African development. This is all about the African future and how we develop sovereignty and sustainability. Now, under this category, I'm going to ask the question that someone had asked of me. Give me 5 key points each about the presidents of Kenya and Tanzania, focusing on scandals, security, and challenges to the integrity of the leaders. Let me get the spelling right. AI is doing the spelling in the background. Integrity of the leaders. So let's go ahead and pursue that thread. Give 5 key points each about the presidents of Kenya and Tanzania, focusing on scandals, securities, and challenges to the integrity of the leaders. So here's what has come up. Kenya president. 5 key points regarding scandals, security, and integrity challenges for Kenya presidents are, and I'm only talking about one president, the Goldenberg scandal occurred during President. No, that's not what I wanted. Make this contemporary. And only relating to the current regime. in regime in Kenya. I keep spelling it wrong. In Kenya and the current regime in Tanzania. Okay, I think I corrected, make this contemporary and only relating to the current regime in Kenya and current regime in Tanzania. Now, what it did do was find its resources and put it up at the top. So here are 5 current points about each of the regimes of William Ruto in Kenya and President Samia Suluhu Hassan in Tanzania, focusing specifically on scandals, security issues, and integrity. For Kenya, William Ruto's regime, 2022 to present. His government has faced significant allegations of state capture and corruption, including the controversial loss of 6.6 billion shillings through the importation of edible oil by the Kenya National Trading Corporation and selective withdrawal of graft cases involving his allies. Point 2, the rule of law and judiciary independence have come under strain. Point 3, security forces under Ruto's regime have been responsible for widespread police brutality, with over 140 protesters killed since 2023 during demonstrations. Public frustration, point 4, public frustration has sharply increased. And conflict, talks about conflict of interest, and he's the most disliked president in Kenya's history. Point 5, in response to mounting pressure, he enacted the Conflict of Interest Bill to bolster anti-corruption frameworks. For President Samia Suluhu Hassan. Now, I needed to answer this question for my sister Kashiba, Queen Mother Kashiba, who's in the house. I believe she's in the house today. Tanzania, President Samia Suluhu Hassan's regime, 2021 to present. Her administration has faced accusations of authoritarian drift, meaning she's acting like a queen, like Donald Trump, including harassment of critics and opposition figures, particularly through the use of selective cyber and information laws. Point 2, Tanzania's Security and Intelligence Service has been criticized for political interference and human rights abuses. Point 3, despite early reform promises, observers note continuing corruption and lack of institutional transparency. Point 4, a recent social media crackdown in 2025, where citizens face warnings and detentions for criticizing government leadership or calling for protests online. Point 5, regionally, Samia's government has aligned with Kenya and Uganda on joint security operations to suppress dissent and activists across borders, raising questions about transnational repression. So these points reflect how both administrations, Ruto's in Kenya and Samia Suluhu's in Tanzania, have facing escalated challenges concerning integrity, rule of law, state repression, and government credibility in 2025. So this answers the question, Queen Mother. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go into email, my email. Where we at? I got my email is up over here. Go into my email, and I'm going to mail this to you, Queen Mother Kashiba, and I'm going to responding to your earlier text. So in response to your earlier question about the presidents of Kenya and Tanzania. And I'm going to go and paste that. And there we go. So I did answer her questions to the presidents of Kenya and Tanzania. And I hope you do find it to be useful. So that is what Spaces is all about. Now, I'm going to go back into Perplexity, go back to Spaces. Now, I'm going to click on that Spaces link, look under private. 2 links have been created. 1, research on Pan-African development, and 2, health-related research. So that, in essence, is what Spaces is all about. Here's the thing. As I go into this space and click on it again, it is learning. The whole time it's learning about what we're talking about. So I can add another topic. It could be related, and I could just tap into the old topic. Ask anything about health research. Well, I do know I've been talking about what can you explain to me about invasive ductile, DUCTILE carcinoma. Now, I'm going to do one more inquiry while I'm here under Spaces, because I just had someone come through and I do need to talk to them much more. But here is a response to invasive ductile carcinoma. IDC is the most common form of breast cancer, representing about 80% of all breast cancer cases. It's also known as infiltrating ductile carcinoma. Starts in the lining of the milk ducts of the breasts, the tubes that carry milk from the lobules to the nipple, and then spreads beyond the ducts into the surrounding breast tissue. The term invasive means the cancer has metastasized. It's spread outside the milk ducts into nearby breast tissue and can further spread to lymph nodes and other parts of the body through the bloodstream or lymphatic system. Now, this is real information I have here, and I am going to forward this to my brother who's organizing with the family to deal with the young lady's case. But it did tell me a couple of things. One, I have known for years. In fact, I'm going to ask this a question. Is this related? Is this related to the delay of birth of the first child of a woman? Because I do believe, I've known over years, that when women delayed the birth of their first child, the breasts were not fully developed. Now, I'm going to put in here, is this related to delay of birth of first child of a woman and the breast not completing their natural, their THEIR, natural development. Now, I believe that to be true. Let's find out. So the delay in having a first child, late first pregnancy, is indeed linked to an increased risk of breast cancer. But it is not directly related to breasts not completing their natural development. Breast development during adolescence remains generally normal regardless of pregnancy timing. Here is the key context. When breast cells develop during adolescence, they are immature and highly responsive to hormones. A full-term pregnancy causes these breast cells to fully mature and differentiate, which has a protective effect against breast cancer. That's what I said. They were not fully developed. If a woman delays her first full-term pregnancy until after age 30 or does not have children, her breast cells remain in this more vulnerable, less mature state for a longer period, increasing their susceptibility to mutations that can lead to breast cancer. Epidemiological, this is very important. Let me get you the summary paragraph. In summary, delayed childbirth is associated with increased breast cancer risk because it delays the protective maturation of breast cells, not because the breasts fail to develop naturally. breast cells mature and they develop naturally is probably, I should not have used that wordage, but that's okay. I'm close enough. I understand. Breast cells mature fully only following pregnancy, and delayed pregnancy extends a window where cells are more prone to carcinogenic changes. Now, that was very, very important. And here's the thing. It is now in spaces. So I've got first one, give me 10 key data points to understanding psychological burnout. What can you explain to me about invasive ductile carcinoma? So these are in spaces. These are like folders. And as I continue to research all of these topics, one thing I'm looking forward to doing is, can you use, or I'm going to ask it, can you use the following threads to give me an outline for an upcoming book? Can you use the included threads to supply an outline for a book? And let me ask that now. Yes, the included threads and external resources can be used to supply a structured outline for a book, particularly one focused on the health risks of Ozempic and related GLP-1 drugs by analyzing the provided document and synthesizing best practices from writing sources. A comprehensive and logically organized book outline can be developed. Now it's showing me the structure. Now, the thing is this, that Ozempic was not included in this, but I did use Ozempic in an earlier thread before I was using spaces. So I'll go back and I'll create another one here that would be on Ozempic. But guess what? He gave me a book. Chapter 1, Introduction, the Ozempic Phenomena. Chapter 2, Understanding NAION, which is a form of blindness caused by using Ozempic and Wegovy and a couple of the semaglutide drugs. The scientific link, presenting findings from mass eye and ear and other studies showing increased risk among users. Chapter 4, Patient Voices, including case studies. Chapter 5, Regulatory Response, Delayed actions by the EMA and the World Health Organization, including label updates, legal landscape and risk management for patients. Conclusion, balancing benefit and risk. Now, here's the thing. It did not include, but that's okay. I know how to write the book. It did not include the nutritional-based solutions and alternatives to Ozempic and Wegovy that I had inquired about. But here's where you can get your book. And I encourage everybody to go ahead and write a book. Write a book. And I do have that thread up. It's already been organized, much more complicated than that outline. But that's what we do. So today, I took the time to hopefully inform, instruct, inspire you to be able to use spaces as your advantage, to your advantage. And that spaces is from Perplexity.ai. So do you have any comments, any questions? Let me double check and see if I have any comments, any questions. Nobody talking to me. Shabaka did say hello. And I have a smallest audience possible. 2 of us watching the show. 3 of us watching the show. So we did the best we could. I'm going to continue this series because I'll be honest with you, I am learning a lot of how to use AI as a master. There are 28 lessons in this series. Today was number 6. using Perplexity's Spaces feature. I don't know that Copilot has a similar feature. I do have Copilot open over here. And let me see if I can find on Copilot, Microsoft's AI, using folders on Copilot. And I'm going to go, I put that up in the search engine, and I went to Copilot, and it says, hi there, what should we dive into today? Using folders on Copilot. Let me see if Copilot has a folders feature. Now, right now, it is verifying that I am human and not artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is prejudiced against Copilot. When you upload files or work with me in Copilot Pages, you can organize them in folders on your device or cloud storage like OneDrive or Google Drive. While I don't create folders myself, I can help you, quote, search for files within specific folders. If you connected your cloud service, work with files you've uploaded, etc. So it does not have a folders feature like Space. Now, let me ask you this. Does Perplexity.ai include a folders feature? This simple question. Does Perplexity AI include a folders feature? Yes. Perplexity AI does include a folder-like feature through something called Perplexity Spaces. That's why Perplexity Spaces is rapidly becoming my go-to search for AI research. So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. I do want to thank you all for being with us and on your LIB Radio, LIBDLivingInBlack.com. It is Thursday. Can you believe the weeks are flying by? That's a sign that I am maturing. I just had my 70th birthday, and believe it or not, I think it's your perception of the time, because actually time is staying pretty much the same, but your perception based upon your experience with time changes so that it appears to me that time is moving ever faster. So before I get out of here, I just want to inform you, I am going to reach out. We need your support to keep LIB Radio going, to keep up our series and our entire network. This is the People's, capital THE, the People's Academy. Support us at http://keidi.biz/CRP 2012. Now let me spell HTTP correctly. HTTP there we go. So we do need your support. We welcome your support. We are always going to be welcoming of you who would support us. And quite simply, enough said. On that note, I want to thank you all for tuning in today to your favorite. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV. We are livinginblack.com. And I am finished with today's program. And I thank you all for all you do to take care of your responsibility here, to keep LIB Radio open, to keep us true to what our mission is. And that is, we aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV. We are livinginblack.com. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you.